Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at noon.
And we begin at noon with breaking news. A large police presence in Flagler County. It's happening near the intersection of Florida Park Drive and Forest Hill Drive in Palm Coast. So take a look at the new video we have just in from the scene. This is a house surrounded by crime scene tape. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office tells News 6 they're investigating a suspicious death. They note that there is no threat to the community. Of course, we do have a crew on the way to that scene right now. Make sure you look for live updates all afternoon on clickorlando.com. Also, a court appearance for the man accused of shooting a Volusia County deputy. Investigators say Deputy Jose Rivera, who you see just over my shoulder, he was shot not once but twice by Luis Diaz Polanco. This was Monday night in Deltona. Polanco now charged with 2 counts of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer. His defense team is, however, pushing to have his confession about the shooting sealed. Today in court, your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed was following the story since it broke. She joins us now with an update. Molly, what can you tell us?
Well, like you said, Polanco's team is pushing to have his confession sealed from public record. That means that we here in the public or the media would not be able to request the audio, video, or any of the questioning deputies had with him after that shooting where he made any sort of confession. Now, the judge here today wants to hear the sheriff's office's thoughts on this, so she hasn't made a decision on this just yet. But quotes from the confession are in his arrest report that we already have. Going back to Monday night, the sheriff's office says Deputy Jose Rivera and his trainee, Deputy Jacob Gomez Lopez, went to Polanco's home to question him about a vandalism call. Body camera video shows Polanco open the door, slam it, then return with a gun and open fire, hitting Rivera twice. Polanco's confession after the shooting was a big part today in the judge deciding to keep him in jail until after trial.
As the state again points out, he sees law enforcement, comes back out with a gun and is shooting directly at and actually hits the officer. In addition to that, the comment of, I would have, had I not run out of ammunition, I would have continued shooting, concerns the court greatly.
Now, Deputy Rivera is home recovering from the injuries. He was hit twice, once in the thigh and another bullet striking his body camera and ricocheting through his shoulder. The sheriff says that possibly saved his life. Now, the judge says, again, she wants to hear from the sheriff's office about how they would handle the sealing of the confession since the public records would be going through their office. She has not set the date for that hearing just yet, but we're told it should be within the next few weeks. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
All right, Molly, thank you for that report. 12:03 here, developing right now. We know that a major traffic backup at Orlando International Airport earlier this morning, it was caused by a deadly crash. So I want to show you that scene, that backup earlier today. Investigators say it happened near Garage B. That garage was closed for hours, and we have just now learned that a person was hit around 12:30 this morning and died at the scene. The driver had minor injuries. He did go to a hospital. This is all according to Orlando police. Of course, we're asking officers exactly what unfolded. We'll have those updates for you as soon as we get them. All right, now let's get to your forecast here. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is joining us. It'll be a decent weekend. We have some intense warm-ups on the way, though, too. I want to highlight that.
Right, temperatures this afternoon back into the upper 80s, and we're going to continue to kind of crank up that heater. And we're not cranking up the heaters. Mother Nature is cranking up the heater as temperatures are going to continue to climb. Looking at our live look right now, you can see where the sea breeze has pushed inland already. Our 2 coastal cameras here, Daytona and Port Canaveral. Notice the difference between the coast and further inland. All that cloud cover is almost kind of squeegeing its way through central Florida, and that's why the clouds over OIA and Kissimmee there. We're at 82 in Sanford, same in Leesburg. Again, that sea breeze over the next few hours will continue to develop a couple of spotty showers. But again, we are really cranking up that heat, especially come Saturday and Sunday, with Sunday being the highest chance for breaking some records. We'll have some more details on the full timeline of your weekend coming up in minutes.
All right, Chief, thank you for keeping us on track. Meantime, a late night shooting in Apopka. This left 4 people hurt. It all happened off of West 12th Avenue. It's not far from South Hawthorne Ave around 9:30. News 6's Mark Lehman was out there for us all morning asking questions. He brings us up to speed on what we do know so far.
Large-scale investigation spanning several hours in this neighborhood south of Apopka, and I want you to take a look at the scene here behind me. About a 2-block stretch of this road is taped off, and we're seeing a lot of evidence markers in the street as well. I counted nearly 3 dozen of them, perhaps indicating how many shots were fired here last night. Now take a look at the response we saw from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. More than a dozen deputies were dispatched to West 12th Street after calls came in for a shooting around 9:30. When first responders arrived, they found 2 men with gunshot wounds. They were treated by paramedics and taken to the hospital. While deputies were investigating, they also found out there were 2 other men who were shot in this and took themselves to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Detectives tell us the 4 men who were shot range in ages from 21 to 48. And as the investigation continues out here, we're working to get an update on the conditions of the shooting victims. We're also asking the Sheriff's Office if they've identified any suspects and for further details about what led up to the shooting. As soon as we learn anything new, we'll post it under this story on clickorlando.com. In South Apopka, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Mark, thank you. Right now at noon, we are getting brand new body camera video after Melbourne police say a prisoner escaped. This was last month. All right, you can see those chaotic moments after police say Eric Jerry ran away from them. They say Jerry told them he was having a medical episode. This was before they took him to the hospital. Officers say Jerry was found after more than 24 hours on the run at a home in Palm Bay. Jerry is now due back in court next week. He is facing multiple charges. Oil prices continue to surge over the conflict in Iran. President Donald Trump saying he does want to play a role in choosing the country's next leader. This is all as explosions continue to rock Tehran and other Middle Eastern cities. And it comes as Israel announces a brand new wave of strikes. U.S. Congress voting earlier this week not to limit the president's power to continue this offensive. Now, this conflict in Iran, it continues to have impacts on Wall Street. Take a look here at the stock market. Right now, the Dow is down over 500 points, and it's not just the conflict in Iran that's causing the impact. The jobs report that came out this morning, it shows more than 90,000 jobs lost and an unemployment rate at nearly 4.5%. That job drop is likely reflected in the market. So make sure you check back with us starting at News 6 at 3 for the very latest update. 12:07, Orlando will remember the 49 lives lost in the Pulse nightclub tragedy in just over 3 months. So right now, we're getting a better look at what's being done to honor them. The city's showing what it calls a 30% rendering. The photos here of the design of that upcoming memorial shown last night. News 6's Troy Campbell was at the meeting where this was unveiled and tells us what the city had to say.
It's the completion of unfinished business. And we're really all looking forward to this moving forward instead of it being just stuck in one place like it has been for 10 years.
Pulse Memorial Advisory Board member Nancy Rosado says it was important for her to show up to City Hall on Thursday to see these new renderings for the permanent Pulse Memorial.
There's still that sense of what's going on here, why isn't it over yet? It's still painful, it's still uncomfortable. And that'll be a while before that gets better.
Members of the design team showed renderings for the memorial, which include a reflecting pond and a fountain wall. They also showed the overall circular shape with rainbow-colored glass throughout.
I believe those of our past seek to be remembered. Sorry.
During the presentation, Borelli and Partners architect Dan Michael Turbovich became emotional, reflecting on what the site means to the community after the loss of 49 lives.
You explained it's more than just a construction site. So what is your motivation now moving forward?
You want to see it through. That's going to be a big one. We start with getting the concepts right. We're hoping we're getting that, but we need to actually follow through with it.
The architect firm says they too knew people who lost their lives at Pulse.
This isn't a project for us. This was a place. It was a place we visited.
Friends of ours were lost.
Friends of ours were lost.
At the vet.
We knew people. We had experiences here. We had memories. The joy of life, the celebration of it.
The design update comes after many meetings led by the Pulse Memorial Advisory Board. Starting in July of 2024, I sat in all of those meetings and heard from survivors and their families who all pushed for certain elements to be added to the memorial.
Honestly, I think that they've done a really, really fair job with everything the committee had asked for. And I think right now, because we're not seeing it physically, we're kind of more or less imagining it.
And that was News 6's Troy Campbell with that story. Now, he tells us the Pulse Committee does plan to give a 60% design update. That'll come in May on a $12 million memorial that is on the way. All right, a beautiful weekend across Central Florida, and it does include a host of things to do. Coming up, what's on deck in Central Florida this weekend, including a taste of Italy. News 6 meteorologist Michelle Morgan has you covered with her 6 things.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
So many fun things happening across Central Florida this weekend, and it is going to be pretty warm, so make sure you're staying hydrated. If you are looking for festival fun, head out to Groveland. The Taste of Italy Festival will be happening this Saturday, and I spoke to the president, Mr. Nunzio, of the Italian American Club of Central Florida about what you can expect.
We got vendors, food vendors, anything from pizza to homemade pasta, sausage and peppers, cannolis, sfogliatellis, arancinis, a bunch of authentic Italian food. And also we got several arts and crafts vendors.
So come hungry, foods will be available for purchase. The event is free and it starts at 11 a.m. Next up, Florida Springs Fest at Silver Spring State Park in Ocala is this weekend from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy ranger programs, live art, food vendors, and activities for all ages. Admission is $2. Looking for a date night under the stars? Enjoy live jazz and local art at the Spring Jazz and Art Festival at Lake Concord Park in Castleberry this Saturday from 6 to 9 p.m. The event is free, and don't forget to bring a chair. Check out the annual Taste of Oviedo this Saturday from 11 to 5 p.m. at the Oviedo Mall with hundreds of food vendors, live music, and a kids zone. Admission is free. Sip and Stroll at the Central Florida Animal Reserve in St. Cloud is on Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Enjoy wine, charcuterie, big cats, and a silent auction. Tickets can be purchased online. Uptown Vibe Food Extravaganza at Cranes Roost Park is Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m. with live music and food vendors. Admission is free.
And if you have something fun happening in your town next weekend, let me know. I've been getting so many fun events from viewers just like you. You can head over to clickorlando.com or a News 6 app. Just click Contact Us.
Okay, well, if Michelle's going to give us so many outdoor events, the only question I have for the chief is, are we going to have good weather for it?
Yeah, it's going to be warmer than the first official weekend of March. On average, we should be about 78. We're going to be about 10 to 12 degrees warmer than that. So prepare yourself. Like she mentioned, make sure you're staying hydrated, lathering up that sunscreen because the sun is slowly starting to get up to a pretty high angle, and that's really going to increase how quickly it will start to burn your skin. Temperatures out the door right now. We are in those low 80s as you're running out, maybe grabbing some lunch, doing some errands. We're all pretty much in the 80s from coast to coast. But throughout the day, as that sea breeze slowly works its way inland, it will start cooling you guys along the coastline, while further inland, temperatures are still going to have plenty of time to climb. The News 6 weather app is going to be a great tool all weekend long because while rain chances aren't extremely high, they're still not at zero. And that's because we are tracking the arrival of that that kind of cooler air coming in along the sea breeze. So as that sea breeze makes its way from east to west, it will start to develop some of those scattered showers in the forecast. As of right now, most of the models do pick up some spotty showers, possibly developing right along the I-4 corridor by about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then shifting out towards kind of the Gulf Coast waters as the sun goes down. That's really going to be the overall setup. I don't see everybody getting any rain, but there certainly will be a little bit of green and just enough instability and enough warming that we will be able to produce some very summer-like weather in the forecast. Now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Friday.
Your forecast is sponsored by Strata Services.
All right, 87 is our high today. Rain chances go back up to about a 30% throughout the day. Again, not extremely high, but not at zero. And as we continue over the next couple of days, it's a big ridge of high pressure. And as that continues just to kind of anchor itself across the far western Atlantic, it's just going to keep that jet stream and anything cooling or changing in the forecast, keeping it all up to the north, which is why there's really not going to be a whole lot of kind of changes in the forecast. So let's talk the weekend. Highs both Saturday and Sunday in Orlando look to be well above average, upper 80s. You can notice, though, the sunset times or the sunrise time, whichever one you like to look at, right? So let's say sunset is at 6:29 Saturday night, but as you're trying to get to bed or getting the kids to bed before work or school tomorrow, Sunday, notice that sunset. The sun will still be out at like 7 o'clock in the evening. So it is going to be quite a change, a shock to the system. It always is every 2 times a year. Looking at the forecast highs versus the records, again, we are focusing on the potential for Sanford and Leesburg, both easily tying records, something that we'll be tracking. And could we see the first 90-degree day of the year? We're going to get pretty close to it. On average, we don't really see it till about April 1st, but just a very kind of swing in temperatures every spring is all very dependent. So that's something we'll be tracking along with records and, of course, the official start to daylight saving.
Oh, boy. All right, Chief, thank you. It is a second government shutdown in 4 months, and though it's only partial this time, it is still affecting federal workers. That includes some right here in Central Florida. So coming up, we'll talk about how the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority is stepping in, ensuring that those workers have everything they need.
For the first time, we'll have a home base to be able to teach out of, and it'll have exhibits on things like habitat restoration.
Plus a campaign to raise $600,000 with plans to create a new nature center. This is in Orange County. Coming up tonight, we'll take a look at how it could bring you closer to the great outdoors. And before we let you go, a quick live look at downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. Blue skies. Only that on the horizon. This is good news on your Friday. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back here at 1221. It is the second government shutdown in less than 4 months, and the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority stepping in to help federal workers. So right now, some Central Florida workers are going without, especially some at the airport. At MCO, long lines, jam-packed flights, those are commonplace, but that still happens during a shutdown with workers who aren't getting paid, tasked with still keeping things moving. So to help them through this difficult time, the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority, they're holding a food drive, and that is for those federal workers. They're collecting everything from non-perishable food items to cleaning supplies, even diapers.
That's really great. I love when community comes together like that.
I feel like it's something that's federally authorized, that anything else federally authorized, they pay for. So that's just something that I think there should be a fund set away for people who are working.
So if you want to support those federal workers, drop-off locations are at the Terminal C departure curb at MCO. They're also at the Orlando Executive Airport on Rickenbacker Drive. We'll have all the dates and times on clickorlando.com for you. Just look for the story right on our homepage. Well, we are also learning here at noon that Bishop Noonan for the Archdiocese of Orlando has penned a letter to Pope Leo XIV offering his retirement. This is according to a letter posted by the Archdiocese. Noonan has served here in Central Florida since 2010, previously serving Miami. This is all after getting his holy orders in 1983, and it all comes on the bishop's 75th birthday, so happy birthday to him. We invite you to check out our primetime lineup on News 6 Plus. Matt and Ginger bring you a brand new take on the day's news. That's on News 6 tonight at 9. And then meteorologist Jonathan Keges answers all your weather questions at 9:30. Plus, you can watch the late news an hour earlier. Again, it's all tonight on News 6 Plus. And you can download our streaming app for free. Best thing, WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. Quick live look at our launch credit union Port Canaveral at Port Camera at Port Canaveral. Say that twice. You're watching News 6 at noon, and we'll be back in just 3 minutes. All right, so you and so many others have got some little ones that are probably real excited about this warm-up coming up.
Oh, yeah, especially because we're starting to get close to how many days till we don't have to go to school. Yeah.
Exactly.
They were off for 2 weeks during the holiday, but that was enough. All right, let's take it to the maps and show you what's going on. Yeah, we are certainly going to be feeling more summer-like than spring, as meteorological spring started on the 1st of March. But you can see we will have a little bit more of an unsettled weather pattern. I don't really see a big chance for rain, but don't get spooked if you do get caught under a fast-moving shower. But the heat, that's really going to be the big story. Could we hit near 90?
That's
we'll
what
keep
I'm
you
worried
posted.
about. I want it to feel like a wet blanket.
Oh,
That's what
that's exactly what it feels.
Good way to describe it.
Yeah, a sauna.
All right, well, stay cool out there this weekend. Have a great day. We'll see you bright and early on Monday morning.
There you go.